What is up? What is up? How's it going? Turn this down a little bit. No more rickrolling us. Jordan, what's up? Welcome. I'm getting some notifications that the resolution is not what YouTube prefers, but you guys will have to let me know if it's satisfactory, because I have no idea, to be honest with you. This is normally what I stream at on Twitch, which I've been doing primarily as opposed to YouTube. Actually, this is my first YouTube live stream, so pretty excited about that. I'm actually trying to find maybe they only posted it on Facebook. I'm looking for the Ironmen post showing their whole roster. So if you guys know where that post is, and you can, I don't know if I should be able to link it in the chat. We're gonna learn together on how YouTube streaming works. If the stream crashes, if something's not right, let me know. It'll be a trial and error this time around. Like I said, I don't actually know if you can post links. We'll see. But I'm noticing that like the Ironmen post isn't here anymore, which is a little odd. So unless it was posted by NXL, which it might have been. It was a fairly recent post, I was pretty sure. But while we look for that, let's talk about what we're going to do in today's stream. So as you guys know, who are all here, the first event of the year is tomorrow. I'm super excited about that. So we're going to talk about we're going to actually go over the layout first, and then I'd like for that to be kind of a shared experience for people. Admittedly, I haven't played the layout, so we've been snowed in. We haven't been able to play, and I know that some of you have, so I'd actually like to have you guys share what you've learned so far by playing the layout, because I can make predictions based on what I see, but I'm not going to pretend I have experience playing on it. So here's the link. Okay, maybe this isn't that helpful. I'm actually realizing PB League is probably just better. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna go over the layout, then we're also gonna cover the new rosters in New Orleans Hurricanes and Latin Saints, because that's going to be pretty exciting to see, and I want us to get some spicy predictions going here when we get to that portion of the stream. So we'll go over Latin Saints, we'll go over Ironmen's like pretty much entire roster change, and then talk a little bit about New Orleans Hurricanes, and then towards the end of the stream, which I actually want to spend the bulk of our time on, we'll talk about predictions. And I have a link to a document that I'd like us to all look at here. Let's see if I can actually send the link in chat real quick. Okay. We're gonna change the music here before we get started. I'm realizing that my chat box isn't actually linked to the scene, so spicy indeed. So I don't see any benefit in being in this screen here. So let's just go to this. Okay, sweet. All right, so like I said, the first things first, let's go over this layout here real quick, because I'm very curious as to what you guys think. Obviously, the first event being with the new bunkers, and I think that's pretty exciting. And unfortunately, we haven't gotten our bunkers in yet, which makes me pretty sad. But lots of really interesting angles. I've seen some pretty interesting videos on the snake side of the field, which I'm excited to see how that plays out. More specifically, because there's this blind shot. You actually can't, at least from what it looks like, you can't actually see over this unless you're pretty tall. The dimensions are off a little bit, it looks like. You don't have your upgrade kit either. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that, but anyway, it's a good thing too, because if we had went to this first event, we would have gotten absolutely destroyed just because we didn't have any practice. We would have had to go somewhere else that had those bunkers. But anyway, so that's actually a pretty strong over the top shot, and it's pretty interesting to watch some of the videos that have come out of like HK Army or Quit Ski or whatever, because a lot of those shots are very accurate and very deadly, but you're almost lobbing them over. So that'll be interesting. I'm very curious to see a very traditional snake tape to start for the year, which I think is awesome. I'll be very curious to see how they use these bunkers and others to make the snake a lot more creative. I think that'll be very interesting. It's probably pretty standard inside shots as you move up to each snake knuckle, which they all look to be there. So there's a lot of cross-field shots here. Very interesting 50. I actually don't know how well these line up like they're shown. I would be surprised if that was... Oh, no, that makes sense. Those are probably, yeah, about the same height as those wings. But I played it a bit on Snapshot VR. I've wanted to get Snapshot VR. I have a VR headset, but it's just a little gimmicky to me, but nothing like digital paintball. So a lot of really, really good shots, it looks like, from when you start to move up on the snake side of the field, which is a nice change of pace, because in the last several layouts, I think in the last layout we covered at World Cup, it was weird. It was like, even if you get up to the 50 snake, it's not much of a threat, but I don't remember if it was the World Cup layout specifically or not. So in any case, a pretty standard heads up gunfight to get into the snake if people stop at this wing, which I think is pretty interesting, and actually a really natural support bunker behind that. But what's interesting is that you can only threaten the zone if somebody decides to move out of this wing. That you can only threaten once they commit to a move, which means that you'll be shooting this gap probably quite a bit to prevent them from getting in the snake from that wing. But I also have seen a lot of teams running out to the corner and making this their first move off the break. So it'll be very interesting to see how, again, I don't have any experience in this layout. So if you guys have common breakouts that you've seen, please feel free to share it in the chat. I'd love to use that and kind of analyze the field with that information. Otherwise, we have a true center bunker, but it's pretty far up the field, which is interesting. And this reminds me a little bit of the Sunshine State Major last year, where you had a tower in the center right off the break, and then you had one almost up to the 50, which is pretty fun. What I remember about that experience was that the number ones on either side of the field pose a huge threat to you if their first move is to get to their bunker and shoot at you. So it'll be interesting to see how many teams decide to take a knee and decide whether or not to shoot, the gaps, to shoot the gaps as people are moving out to their bunkers, or if they decide, or if they're going to be pressured and are going to be forced to move up to this bunker right away. Obviously, you have some pretty good up the gut shots if you decide to do that. Instead of being dead center shooting the wide guys, you could actually just take a step and shoot it, either the guy matching you or anybody who's trying to do some kind of like sneaky route up here to then lock off this zone. So that'll be interesting to see. I don't know which side of the field is if it's a snake heavy or a Dorito heavy side. So if you guys again have any thoughts about that, let me know. And also, this is a bit of a weird layout because of all these, because of the Dorito side, plus this interesting Dorito 50, right? That's pretty interesting. So let's go down here and take a look. A very strong heads up gunfight right here. So I would imagine that the Dorito 1 guy is going to have a lot of trouble surviving. It looks to be that the number 1 on the snake side has a pretty decent chance of surviving and either going to the Aztec or the can. Obviously, you can't, as the number 1, really stop here because you're going to be, jamming the rest of your team on the snake side. So you'll probably either have to go to this Aztec, the corner bunker, or to this wing off the break. Obviously, a huge wide open gap for any number 2 who's wanting to run out to the corner shooting this way. Hey, what's up, dude? How are you? I played like 3 points on this. Okay, nice. I'm wondering how many people have actually had a chance to play here or play on this layout, because it sounds like a lot of fields had trouble getting their bunkers in time. So I would suspect that the snake side has a fair decent chance at surviving. And I suppose the Dorito side does too, unless again the home player decides to take a knee and shoot this gap right off the break, which then would be solved by being threatened by some kind of over the shot lob by this can. So rather than the number 2 on the Dorito side running out and shooting heads up, he would actually run out and shoot on the inside of the field towards the home, which would cause them to not be able to stop there. So I wonder how common that will be, or if what people will do is just crisscross, if that's even viable. It doesn't look like it is. It doesn't look like the snake can shoot nearly as much as the Dorito can. Yeah, there it is. So the Dorito can definitely has a threat there, but it's going to be really hard to shoot the number 1. Well, I guess you're pretty close to the start box. You might be able to take a step out and get that, but that's a pretty tough shot. So otherwise, then the other risk you run is if you shoot cross shots. This is true for in any field that you do this. If you shoot cross off the break as number 2s, It ends up becoming a lot more difficult to win the heads-up gunfight if they started with the heads-up gunfight. So it's either a race to get out wide, like if the meta of the field is to shoot cross as the number 2s and then switch out, it's very important to either get the kill and then switch out, or shoot your shot and then quickly get out to then win the heads-up gun battle. Because if you don't, then is when you start to get crammed on this side of the field, especially if your Dorito 1 guy dies. So if your Dorito 1 guy dies as he's trying to run out, and then you stop here because you shot inside and then play heads up, you run the risk of being dominated by this dude and then their teammate being wide. And now you're, this entire side of the field is being owned by your opponents. So something to keep in mind. Pretty interesting secondary for the number 2. I have seen a couple videos of the number 1s going here first. I think the only trick is, the question is why. If you were trying to kill the snake, I could see you setting up a trap. The problem with setting up traps cross field this distance is that it's pretty hard to react to them and send paint fast enough. So you usually just have to shoot this zone and stop them. And you're essentially trading opposite number 1s, right? If you decide to stop their number 1 on the snake side by having your number 1 on the Dorito side shoot a zone, then you're just trading opposite front players' ability to push up the field. So that Dorito gap is scary, but there is a route in the inner Dorito that is kind of safe. Will this be uploaded after? It will absolutely, Pastel. Good insights so far. Porter, by the way, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Anyway, so that's something to consider. I have seen, like I said, just a couple of videos, but otherwise I would suspect that a safe route to be would be to come out baseline, slide here, go low, slide into here. The challenge with that is that it's slow. So it sounds like there's some kind of inside Dorito route, which would be, I would suspect you would line up. Your number 2 would be on the farthest side of you. So let me just paint it this way. I would suspect that your number 2 would be here. Oh, your number 2 is here. Your number 1 is here. Your number 1 takes this route and goes right here. I mean, they could even just go here if they wanted. But that seems to be pretty safe because, I mean, look, if you're running low, nobody can see you. The Snake 2 guy might be able to kill you, but man, that is a hard shot. Otherwise, what's going to kill you is any sort of paint that they're sending already to either this gap or farther to this gap. So depending on what you decided to do, you might actually be able to dodge that paint. So if you decided to run up close and take a knee here for even just a second and shoot heads up, or to read the paint, you might be able to go underneath it afterwards and then wrap and either pressure this guy or just chill for a second, because this guy no doubt is going to be shooting at you still. Otherwise, if you decide to stop back a little further right here, again, you probably have off the break, if you get here quickly, you probably have like 2 to 3 seconds at best to make a move here. But otherwise, you could then dive in here or just go straight into either of them and risk your body. It's totally up to you. There's a quick D-side 40 route. You run a wheel route around the outside of the Dorito. Okay, so let's take a look at that. It looks like... Oh, is it this? Tell me if I'm getting it right, Christian. Do you run baseline and then in? Like this? Because as soon as you clear this gap right here, you're pretty golden, it looks like. As soon as you pass here, this is all free, I would suspect. Unless the home guy took a knee. If the home guy took a knee and was shooting at you... Oh, wrong color. Then you're in trouble for sure. So be curious to know if that's what you're meaning. Otherwise, you're probably pretty safe from any crossfield shots from the number 2 on the snake side. And at that point, I mean, you don't even, why even stop at this Dorito? You could get to the 50. So I would suspect that if that's the case, people are going to be looking to control that wide gap if they see you cross. So, but again, there's probably other shots on the inside of the field that I don't know about because I didn't play. I didn't get a chance to play this layout. So, we won't spend too much more time on this. I think what will be interesting to see is how each team plays this. How I view layouts, at least in the 2021 and 2019 season, really, because we didn't have a 2020 hardly. I look at there's an objective way to play most layouts. With the new bunkers being as new as they are, I wonder how quickly we will get to that. either in this tournament or in the lifespan of these bunkers, right? Because like, for example, you think about when we used to have that massive center W, that there was kind of like a meta to that bunker, which was get there as soon as you can, listen for which side the person was shooting on, and either trade there or bait them and then bunker them on the other side of the field. But that was all there was to it. There wasn't really any sort of counterplay. People stopped playing up over the top a whole lot. Like, you would still see layouts in which people would do that, but towards the end of the lifespan of that bunker, people were just getting to it and trading out with the center guy, and it became really stale and boring. So I'll be very curious to see. Obviously, these bunkers aren't as pivotal as the big W, really. But I'll be curious to see if this layout is won by those who have a specific play style, or if it's traditionally how it usually is won by those who play it the most properly or most correct, if there is even such a thing at this point. So anyway, lots of challenging shots. It's pretty interesting. So you run along the edge of the outside of the mini wedge. Okay. Oh, right here. I see. I think I see. And baby, you just go, let's see, sorry, I'm losing track. You just go to the Xbox, the knee, the cross from the one, and a quick route to the standing snake wedge and kill it. Oh, interesting. So is it, because you said the baby, I don't know what people are calling the baby at this point, especially because this part of the field is such a mystery. And how, I mean, I think on our layout we called it Wasatch, which is not super specific. So it sounds like the outside. So does that mean right here where you blind out? Is that what that is? And so you blind out and then maybe you come right here and shoot that? Or maybe you shoot, you said you just go to the Xbox, which I assume is this. I'm assuming you're talking about this as the Xbox. The knee, the cross from the one. Yeah, maybe. I'm having a hard time following you, Christian, but I think I'm seeing what you're talking about. There obviously, whatever people are going to get away with is going to change depending on which division you're in as well. But if you even round this wedge, it looks like you could just blind out the can all the way up to here, all the way up to this Dorito, and then you could either surprise him and challenge on the inside of the field, get into flinch, and then dive here, and then just hold this off. Baby equals smallest Doritos. Yes, that's okay. That's typically what we're... Okay, so this is the smallest Dorito right here. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. And then there's this really solid cross shot. Again, if you're the number one who takes a second to shoot on the inside of the field, that's fine. But if you make it your primary job, you're just really halting your progression up the Dorito side in trade in hopes of killing somebody in the snake. Okay, let's look at a few more things. What bunkers have lanes to kill D sides one off the break? What bunkers have lanes? It looks like, and Christian, feel free to chime in here as well. Anybody who's played on this layout. It looks like, again, it's different every single time when you go to the field. Every single time it's different. It looks like if the home guy decides to take a knee, you have a threat shot here, maybe. Maybe it's bigger in the tournament. Maybe it's smaller. If they decide to take that outside route, you have this as well. Even if they're on the move up this direction, they probably still have some similar shots in those two gaps. It looks like if your number two gets out real quick and the Dorito one on the opposite side decides to take a bigger bite than just going to this Dorito or blinding and taking this Dorito, then you could shoot this gap, potentially kill somebody going out here. You'd kill him right there, which is a pretty standard, like, heads up number two shooting the number one guy. I don't know if there's anything else off the break. I mean, maybe this, but I don't think you can see that before. Maybe right here. Again, tournament depends. This gap right here might exist. Just in my experience and how Guns Up's dimensions are. Or it might not exist at all. So you can run to the outside of the standing mini W, then the small Doritos straight up to the Dorito side 40 wedge. Let's see. So you run to the outside of the standing mini W. So I'm assuming outside is what you're meaning this right here. This is the outside to me, yeah? Outside of the standing mini wedge, then the small Dorito straight up yes. I'm with you. So that would be the route that you would take as the number one. So the question was, what sort of bunkers can shoot that guy making that move? And I think that's kind of what it looks like is that. Maybe there's some kind of crazy inside kneeling shots right here. The thing that's kind of cool is that there's a lot of dead zone right here that the number 2 on the Dorito side can play with. Again, field specific, layout specific, so you can run on the outside of this. Oh, I read that already. Okay. I keep getting warnings. How's the stream going so far, guys? I keep getting warnings about my resolution. It just says it's not supported. Is it okay? You guys doing okay? Let me know if it's like weird artifacting, anything to deal with like frame rate, stuff like that. I'm very curious. Yeah, I mean, if you're the number 2, looks good. Okay, thank you. If you're the number 2, you could take a knee right here and shoot this. And you're probably pretty safe. I mean, again, you're going to get pressure back from the home guy if you start doing that. So it's good for me. Okay, good. You're going to start to get pressure. I know that like good teams will scout and decide to shoot somebody who's doing that, but looking food, baby. Looking food. Thanks, PB Ninja. Okay, I think that's it for the layout. Unless you guys have some other comments, let me know. I'm not even sure how to play that D side 50. I would... lol, would you worry more about the wire or inside of the 3 or inside with the 3 wedges? Ooh, good question. Let's take a look. I mean, typically speaking, the only thing you want to do on the inside is to look at whatever kills you can get right away and then play heads up. That's blanketly the case. But as far as this is concerned, to be honest, anytime you have to come on these sides, like you have to peek from these angles of the wedge, it's just like you're just gonna die. It's such a hard angle. So I don't even know if I would challenge people from this angle. It looks like if you're wanting to do any damage on the inside of the field, you either have to take a step back, like out here, and shoot the god. I assume that's what that is, or no, that's the snake corner. That looks to be the snake corner, because the god, I think, is just before that. Yeah, that's the snake corner. So you could maybe shoot the snake corner if he's playing sloppy. Doesn't know you're there. Otherwise, you would need to crawl. You would need to crawl and look here. The snake side temple and the snake and the standing big wedge can shut down D side progression. It is a hard, quick lane to shoot the D side or the D side D1 from the breakout. Okay, let's take a look at that in just a second. I mean, I would suspect that moving up to this 50 brick right here would be pretty hard to do. I would suspect that you're going to get a lot of pressure from the god if they're still there, or the snake corner if they hear you called out. You might get... You could also get an inside shot from somebody at the wing. I mean, traditionally speaking, front players are more concerned with what's going on in front of them than what's going on across the field from them. So it obviously just depends on how easy people are getting up to that 50 or that 40 Dorito wedge. And if it's really easy, then it might be that as soon as somebody dives into this like snake side wing, or I don't know if people are calling it the god or what, they might decide to shoot up this direction at you just for a second and then play heads up. I don't have any idea. There's also this, which this looks to be not a great bunker. It looks to be a very exposed bunker that you're trying to use to kill snake side people, but it looks like you'd just be better off playing on the outside of this bunker. Depending on where their number 1 is, if they've matched you or not. If they haven't matched you, so this is kind of how I would treat it. If when you run to this bunker, you know, again, either off break or you make some kind of progress to this bunker at some point, and you know that the person hasn't matched you out in this direction, so that their widest person is nowhere, they're not anywhere in this zone, then it is so much stronger for you to just wrap on this bunker. It is so much stronger for you to wrap and contest right here. It's not a great angle. Playing out of these hard edges is not a great angle, but it's definitely there, at least according to Guns Up. So you not only pressure from the same angle, you not only pressure the Dorito, the inside Dorito, but this can as well, which looks to be pretty strong. I definitely played the outside more. Yeah, I just think the outside seems to be a lot safer and stronger. I mean, you don't even have to necessarily, as long as you have some kind of containment as well. If you have some kind of containment on these two players from the guy behind you, then you could even just ignore them and get low and come here and either do something cheeky where you set up a trap. So you set up a trap for the guy to break out, or this Dorito dude to make a move. So, because what he'll probably be doing is looking above you towards the 50, who knows. But otherwise, if you sit here and stare for a second and you know their widest guy is only in these cluster of bunkers, then as soon as the number 2 decides to break out, you get an easy kill, or the Dorito guy decides to go here. I don't know how common that'll be. It sounds like people are trying to send their Dorito guy out as wide as possible. So if people are matching you a lot of the time, then this is just who is a better snap shooter, right? Because this is a really hard edge. If you have practiced snap shooting and you know how to tuck in your elbow, you have a slim profile when you snap, you're fast and responsive, this is how you'll win the heads up fight if you need to. Otherwise, if you decide to like ignore that guy, the problem becomes is that nobody else can really stop him, can they? This guy might, if the number 2 fills here, which I don't know why he would. That's a possibility. This guy can't stop him. I'm thinking of people, the number 2 and how he can stop the D side wedge. It looks like the can is the most practical bunker to do it. The home guy could, but man, this is not really a stop. When you're the guy in this position and there's a dude here, you're in a bad spot. So it looks to be that like if you were here and somebody was mirrored up on you, you would just have to make sure to keep tabs on this guy as much as possible. The Xbox from when we played it, you want to kill that wire and hard wrap the wedge D side 40 and then progress to the wedge, to their wedge quick. That's what I would imagine that's going to be what we see a lot of, is just trying to win this heads up battle, making sure that you're keeping each other honest as much as possible, not even really worrying about some of these angles, because even if they're widest guy, even if you've beaten them and they haven't matched you yet in this zone, there's nobody on this side of the field, this is a really bad angle to challenge from. This is a really bad angle to challenge the Dorito player from. You would rather just come here. You would just rather come here and challenge this dude to either kill them or go low. And at this point, why even stop at the W? Just get to theirs, like Christian's saying, and then wrap even harder, and boom, you've got an easy kill here, easy kill pack here. You know, lots of stuff at that point. The question is, what does the number 2 do? Because the number 2, this might be another one of those like World Cup 2019 cases where like the best way for the number 2 on the snake side to support their snake 1 was to literally follow right behind them. The wedge wheel route is definitely easy. You can run and gun it, or quick route to it. The wrap and go of that Xbox needs to be contained. Okay, good to know. But yeah, it looks to be that otherwise it's just super, you know, Christian, maybe a question before we move on. What did the number 2 on the Dorito side do? Did they just follow behind them? Did they go to like this Dorito right here? Or did they try to go up the center of the D side and go here? Because that seems not good. Like if you lose your front player on the Dorito side and you're the number 2 here, you're going to just die, I feel like. And you can't stay back here because now you have this massive gap between you and your front player. So I'd just be curious to know. So it looks like positioning is here. It's funny. It says my stream is healthy, and then it tells me I've got a warning for resolution. So it looks like this is the route, and then somewhere in these 2 bunkers for the number 2. This is the number 1. But I'd be curious to know. Any other questions and stuff before we move on? Spent about 30 minutes talking about this, which is perfect. Oh, excuse me. Any questions? Is this no, this isn't. Any questions? No. I lost it. Dang it.
Wait. Oh yeah. There we go. Any questions? Round 1.
Should I be going for D40 off break every point? My philosophy, so if I were to just give you blanket advice without knowing anything about the division you play, how fast you are, how low and, you know, how low to the ground you can run, whatever, my thinking is this: you should always force your opponents to react to what it is that you're doing and not just give up ground because you're not confident in yourself. Not to say that that's what you're telling me right now, but the best players in the world force their opponents to react to them. So that's the reason why like a pro team will just absolutely smash bottom pro teams or even like, you know, semi-pro D2 teams is because the pro players are all playing hyper aggressive and forcing their opponents to shoot the shots that they need to stop them from just running them down. Nicholas, what's up? Gives us wait.
Finish him.
There you go.
Nicholas wins. Oh wait,
I need more grunge. Let's see, or more reverb.
Testing. That's a bit better. Testing.
Anyway. David, what's up? Just getting back into the game after 15 years. Is there a fire rate cap these pros are shooting now? Yes. So 15 years ago, you would have been probably uncapped semi. And you probably would have been playing at uncapped semi, pump, or some kind of mech stuff. 15 years, that's really not that long ago, actually, when you think about it. But they're playing at 10 point, I think it's 10.2 or 10.3. Because like WCPPL, I think is like capped at 10.5. But I don't know if the NXL rules are actually 10.5 or if they're 10.3 or 2. That's somewhere around there. The number 2 when I played was right behind him, or play center with access to dive into the Xbox region. Okay, so yeah, I would imagine, I'll be very curious to see if that's if number 2s kind of float here primarily, or if they just do the you know, the follow the guy right behind route. Because the problem is, like we said, is if your number 1 guy dies and you're caught anywhere here, you have to set up a trap. That's your only option, is to set up a trap on this guy. And then in my experience, it's like World Cup 2021 all over again, where, dude, playing the number 2 on the Doritos side sucked. I hated it. It was not fun. So, okay, let's move on then, if you guys are all good. Quick plug, if you want to continue the discussion about what to do on this field, or if you want to provide information further to people, please join our Discord server. We've had a lot of people come in here recently as a result of my most recent video, which I'm super happy about. But if you guys want to continue the conversation, or if you have questions mid-tournament, you're like, hey, I don't know what to do, blah, 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 I will do more work for you. I will do more research for you. But the link to the Discord is right here. So feel free to, it should be there in just a second. Feel free to join and continue the conversation there. But otherwise, let's move on. Let's talk about some of the new rosters, because holy cow. There's been a lot of changes. So obviously we're not going to cover everything, but we definitely want to cover some things. So primarily I want to talk about Latin Saints. I want to talk about Ironmen, and I want to talk about, of course, New Orleans Hurricanes. I actually pulled up Impact because I was curious. Oh, they picked up Derula. That's right. Zach Hill. Did he move from Infamous to here? Oh, is it not going to show me? I forget that I have to... Is it not going to show me what teams he played on? I hate that there's like an old and new thing. That's super annoying. Like Dorito on the inside, or the tower that side. It is a rough number 2 on the D side. Yeah, I would imagine. It looks like it. It looks like it. So, yeah, who are the Ironmen guys? We're going to look at that. So, first one I want to look at... Actually, let's do Ironmen first. I agree. We should talk about Ironmen. So... Oh, I had that picture. That's what that was. I had a Facebook picture. There it is. Okay. I closed it. Don't need that. Come on. Okay. So their other posts actually had names. I heard somebody in my Discord say that Nick Sloviak isn't playing this first event, or is that just because we didn't see him in the picture? I don't know what the case was. So here's a picture. It looks like Al Fernandez, Kaito, Warner, really good friends. I love Kaito. He's an awesome dude. I remember reading this guy's name. Don't remember his name. Don't remember that. Nick Sloviak. Don't remember him. Don't remember him. Man, there's just so many new faces. I know that this is this Josh, Alex Keys, something? Let's find out. So we have, whoa, Alec Bouchang playing D3 points. That's insane. Zach Carter was a diesel guy, wasn't he? Legacy team page. Let's see if this will show me, because what I want to know is where some of these people came from. So that is Alex Keys. Okay. So this isn't what I'm looking for. No, 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 no. Hold on. Okay, maybe this will help me. Hank Stump was the blonde guy on the left. Okay, J Tunes, what's up, buddy? Okay, so Alex D3. I must be logged in. All right, hold on, guys. Let me log in here real quick. Okay, cool. Who did he play for? Let's see. Veteran Militia. Most recent event, right? Am I reading that right? 2020? No. Okay. What am I looking at? Is that Guadalajara? Okay. MXL. Oh, look, no, I didn't read that. So played with San Diego Vice, Sunshine State Major 21, MXL's Premier D4 2020. Who is this person? What? Are they 2020 Veteran Militia 2 out of 20 Division 3? That's pretty good. Maybe this guy's just a sleeper, dude. This guy might just be a sleeper goat. No Chris Tregarthen. I don't know how to say that. Log in to view legacy profile page. Yeah. Thank you, Chris. He's a Midwest player, local to me for a while. Really consistent and aggressive player. Interesting. Dude, I'm all for it. Okay. I'm not about to talk bad about somebody who their PBL says they're Division 3 because that's what happened to me. So I'm all for it, man. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. Let me go back. Take me back. See if I can keep on. Okay, here we go. Los Angeles Ironmen. I'm going to make sure to open up different tabs. Okay. So then we have Zach Carter. I've seen him before. I don't remember immediately what teams he's played for. Gummy Bears. Okay. Good for him. Grit X. That was a D2 team. Yeah. I think we played them at World Cup. I'm pretty sure we did. Good for him, man. I've seen Zach on rosters before. I just couldn't remember which. But Gummy Bears, Ironmen, ACX, AC Empire, tons of experience. That's pretty cool. Al Fernandez, we don't need to talk about him. Clayton Hughes, is that how you say it? Man, look at that photo. Hunters, okay, good for him, man. Look at that. Hunters, ASG All-Stars. Okay, so he's from the similar camp, it looks like. Yeah, that's sweet. Man, I'm so curious to see how this team plays. Nicholas Chicken Hunt. That feels a little weird to go out of your way to put chicken in your... That must be a really, like, meaningful nickname. Violence, okay. Top Gun Union, PSP, 2013. What am I looking at? Top events? Okay, this is probably just better. LVP Iceman, Division 3. May have been staff. Now he's rostered with Ironmen. Washington Winstons. Okay. LVP Iceman, D3. Wow. Man, these people. LA Collision, Semi-Pro. Okay, so we've got another dark horse, I guess we'll call them. Let's go on. Alex Keys, part owner? I don't remember what the story with Alex Keys was, but I think he was like a part owner, either an APX, something. I don't know. I know Alex. I've seen Alex play on Aftermath, obviously. Like, I've seen him. The only thing I don't like about... this just sounds weird. I don't have anything against Alex. I don't know him at all. But the only thing that really bothers me when I watch him play is how he holds his gun. He holds his gun like this when he shoots. So it's like his elbow's just way freaking out there. You watch any raw footage of those guys play, you can see who Alex is without even seeing his name on his back. It's I mean, he's a good player. Obviously, he's on Aftermath, but it's just funny. So now he's on Ironman. Interesting. Okay. And then we'll do a few more here. So there's more people in that picture than there are rostered here on this thing. So I wonder what that's about. Oh, Infamous. Okay, Wisconsin Infamous, Division 2. I thought they were semi-pro. Maybe he just played with their Division 2 line. So Mutiny, Vintage, Mutiny. Lots of... Okay, so he's from Mutiny. It looks like. Maybe. Competitive Edge. This is in chronological order, right? Yeah, okay. Interesting. Yeah, so... He has some pretty good experience. Wow, look at that. A lot of crazy... See, this is why... Don't let anybody tell you that you can't play whatever division you want to play in, man. Just play. Just play paintball, dude. Taking third out of 19 in semi-pro X-ball. I don't know how much he played. It looks like he's staff here, but like still... I don't know, man. This is pretty funny to see. Semi-pro, D3, D4. Anyway. I wish him all the luck, man. I think that's going to be sweet. And then my buddy, Kaito. I love Kaito, dude. He's awesome. Played with Thunder for a long time. Before that was rostered with Vegas Brawlers. Super good player. Really, really athletic. Super stellar player. I'm excited to see him play this weekend. Yeah, Chris T is in the picture, but not on the Sunshine roster. Another Hunter's pickup. Okay. Vintage first, then Mutiny. Okay. Thank you, J-Tunes. All right, cool. So that is good to know. That'll help us. It'll help inform us when we go to doing predictions for this event. So great. Okay, let's look at... I don't know if we even need to do this for these guys, because a lot of this information is going to be hard to get for Latin Saints. Oh, excuse me. And then some of these people I've never heard of. So, and I'm not going to pretend like I can say their names properly, so I apologize in advance. There's a huge roster, though. Kyle Spica. Oh, this is the owner. Okay. The one thing that I am very weary about, so I'm sure it's kind of like how we're all feeling, maybe. I'm always very weary about an owner who comes into really any sport, but I don't know if it's applicable to anything besides paintball, but comes into a sport, dumps a ton of money into it, and then puts themselves on the roster. And the only reason I say that is because if you had enough money to fill a full roster of 5, unless you only did 4 and then you were planning on being the 5th, it just seems a little weird. It seems a little heavy-handed to be the owner of a team and kind of put yourself on the roster as a result of that. That's just me. I have no idea if this... I don't know. So obviously A-Rod, Kyle Spica, Justin Rabikoff, Corey Hall, Alex Goldman, wherever he is, there he is, and Silos Cortez. Huge names in the space. But all these other people... Let's see. I think that's it. Oh, we already looked at him. Okay. Oh, played with Wild Dogs. Man, those guys gave a really good showing. He played with Red Legion in 21? Oh. Interesting. And then Wild Dogs, that one event, that was awesome. They put on such a show. That was cool. So he's part of the original roster. That's sweet. MX Dead Legion. Okay. And then in the NXL with Wild Dogs. Cool. Look at that climb. Division 5, Division 3, Division 4, Division 5 Pro, baby. Let's go. Another, let's see. Same original. It looks like to be everybody's from that roster. Okay, brought him up for... See, this is what I'm curious about. I mean, I'm sure that this person has proved themselves to deserve this spot. But if they were on MX Dead Legion and most of their experience seems to be in Division 2 or whatever, and they already have a massive roster, why not just let them keep playing Division 2? I mean, it doesn't seem like it's necessary to bring them up. That looks like a teacher picture. Like they look like they teach, which is very possible. PR Crew, MX Dead Legion... Okay, and I think that's it. So, I mean, obviously the starting 5 I think is pretty obvious. It's going to be Spica, A-Rod, Rabikoff, Goldman, and I think Corey Hall and Silos fight for the last spot. Personally, I mean, I haven't really thought about how that would shake out in terms of where people would play, but I would suspect that Spica and Goldman play on the Snake side, A-Rod plays in the middle, and Justin Rabikoff and whoever plays on the D side, which would probably be Corey Hall, because Silos Cortez would play on the Snake side for almost his entire time with Ironmen. So I'll be curious about that. Okay. Last roster to go over here. There's no point in going to their previous experience because this is the team, Hurricanes. These guys are awesome. I'm pretty sure I met every one of these people when we played them. Let's see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I met every one of these people. And honestly, all their whole team is really good. That's so funny. That looks like such a different camp than I know from just seeing him in his jerseys, or in paintball gear. And then I met Hamilton. I don't think I met Aaron Pate. That's funny. I don't know if I met Stewart either. I met C Wright. So funny thing about C Wright, he's a PhD. He has a PhD, but I heard something about how he's like getting further education or something like that. I don't remember what it was specifically, but I remember talking to Bianca, their coach, and he was telling me how he's, just one of the most intelligent people, and is like he's got a PhD in it's either biochemistry, genetics, or something. I don't know. Something. Obviously. I don't think I've met Simpson either. I don't know if it's that they... Let's see. No, they've been playing with Hurricanes the whole time. So maybe just didn't get a chance to meet him. Or maybe they were those people that I just passed and I didn't get a chance to say anything to them. So anyway, I'm very, very excited to see how these guys play. And I think that they stand a pretty good chance at putting on a real good show. So, okay. I don't know. Is anybody else curious about any other rosters we could look at real quick? I don't know if there's any other kind of crazy changes. Seattle Thunder, as a reminder, merged with Brooklyn Bears. That's a semi-pro team. I think it was literally just that. It was a merger, which is kind of it's kind of too bad. Only in that I feel like, I mean, there was a lot of really cool players that was on Thunder prior to this, but I wonder if Thunder felt like they needed a little bit more structure within their staffing because they lost their coach, which was actually at the practice that we were at with them. Kind of awkward, but so I wonder if there's just a lot more back end support in terms of staffing that was going to help. But we'll see how. I'm curious to see how they do. I don't think there's really any other significant changes in rosters that really need to be looked at here. I know that Baltimore Revo picked up some people and I think lost some people, right? It was somebody went to Impact, we saw. Checked in. No, dude, look, only 3 of you guys are checked in. Revo, what are you doing? Ravlez, Sense, Omara, Thomas Mantoni. That name sounds super familiar. Ben Carroll, that's right. Ben Carroll got picked up, and Mark Barolo. So he was picked up from whatchamacallit, Thunder. So very curious to see how they do. Let's go Thunder Bears. That's what they should have called themselves, honestly. Who did X Factor lose besides Archie? Good question. Let's take a look. X Factor. San Antonio X Factor. Bayless, Cody Bayless as a recent pickup, if I remember right. Played 2019 with them, huh? I must be thinking of somebody else. I know they picked up a Bolus. I don't know how to say his last name, but I remember watching him. He's good. He's a good player. I think he came from. Oh, he came from Austin Notorious. Okay, I think it's the guy on Dynasty that came from Newbies. But I actually, if you want to watch somebody who I think has the new age form for how to play paintball, which is funny because he's on X Factor and those guys play paint. They hold their guns and their mechanics are like just like a blast in the past, you know, like early 2000s. But if you want to look at somebody who I think has really sharp form and just looks really clean out on the field, it's Anthony or Antony. I don't know how he says it. Bolas. He's got really, really good form. Cole Roberts is back too. Oh, there he is. It looks like it. Good for him. Yeah, Ben Carroll left New England Hurricanes. That is a crazy loss for them. It is. I wonder if it was just the opportunity or what. But I mean, he's a really good player. But he's like, I attribute Ben Carroll and who's the other guy? I could just look at their roster, but there's like two faces to that organization that I'm surprised they left. I wonder how they'll do this event. A couple teams haven't paid, really? A couple pro teams? Interesting. TJ Danner needs more playtime, in my opinion. TJ Danner's a really good player. But Jesse Stevens, man. Jesse Stevens, good. Dude, only person not checked in. Jesse Stevens. Randy Stanzik, absolutely nuts of a player. Oh, they picked up LJ Parrish. This team is getting too inflated, in my opinion. They're running into the Houston Heat problem. I know Dimitri Nino, so I don't need to pull him up. Tom Guest. I love Tom Guest, dude. His videos that he used to do, his vlogs, were so fun. I don't think he does them anymore, but I love Tom Guest. LJ Parrish, really good dude. Still in talks with Christian Martinez, apparently. Those guys are pretty good friends, which is awesome. I don't know this person. Ground Zero Gold. ICPL, San Antonio, Ground Zero Gold, Ground Zero Gold. A lot of ICPLs. Played with X Factor then. ICPL. Man, he's played a lot of ICPLs. X Factor, AC Empire. Interesting. Played with Diesel before that. Okay. Huh. I don't know this person. And then Bernaccia. William Bernaccia. I guess I didn't realize Bill was short for Will. Ben Carroll was being scouted for 2 years or so. I wonder why it took him so long to pick him up. I think because I had asked my teammate that, like, why do you think it took so long for a lot of these top pro teams or top semi-pro teams to get picked up? And I think it's because a lot of those people have egos that prevent them from being good teammates or have bad habits that are just like nobody wants to deal with. I have no idea because like I looked at all of New England Hurricanes squad as like a team that could easily be picked up because they have so many like recognizable faces. They've been playing the sport for such a long time, but I thought that was kind of surprised. Group A is brutal. We'll go over that in just a second here, Porter. TJ was injured. I thought he was injured for the 2021 season or 20 season. I don't remember. Maybe it extended farther than I remembered, but okay. Sweet. All right. Let's pull up the document. The document of all documents. If you want to see now in the future, when I get Streamlabs integrated with YouTube, which it is not. It was when I was on Twitch. So we could do like votes, we could run polls, we could see what who people thought was going to win, that sort of thing. It was just going to be a lot easier. But well, I was just commenting on the team list. Ironmen and one other team hasn't paid entry yet. Really? That's so funny. So in the future and other tournaments, hopefully definitely before the second one, we'll have much more interactive experience where you guys can vote to see, at least I think, I don't know if YouTube actually supports that now that I think of it. You guys are going to be able to vote who you think is going to win each series and by how much. But for the sake of today, that isn't as interactive. I still want to hear who you guys think are going to win but we're going to pay more attention to that as we get into the tournament bracket. So I'm going to try to run through this quickly in the group stage portion because I feel like that's going to just take a long time if everybody hashes out who they think is going to win. If you guys obviously disagree about certain group stage turnouts, please feel free to let me know. I love reading chat. I think some people just like lose their minds when I predict certain things. But this is a document you can't access. It's linked in the chat just if you want to keep tabs on it as we go throughout the day. Another plug for the Discord. If you join Discord tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, I will be streaming. Not YouTube, not Twitch. I will be streaming. What I will be streaming, I won't say, but I think you know what I'll be streaming. And we're going to essentially have like an interactive, we're just going to have a chat. So we're going to watch the tournament. I don't know. I don't know what I'll be streaming, but I will be streaming something. And then while that happens, we will actually go over we'll talk about the predictions and see how they go. So Dynasty number 1, Heat number 2, X Factor number 3. Really interesting. Okay, so I actually created this document. I think it's really awesome. I think it's going to serve us very well because brackets are confusing. So this is just what I think is going to happen. But what I would love to see you guys do is if you download this document or save it. I think you can create a copy. If you go to file and make a copy, it'll put it in your Google Drive, and then you can edit it however you want and make your predictions and post it in the paintball chat, because that's what I would love to see. So the way this layout is, Tampa Bay damage all the way. Ooh, got a hot and spicy one already. And so then in the second tab, as soon as you find out who your top 10 teams are, then you can put them in this bracket and then go from there. So anyway, it's actually worked out really well. I think this worked out super well. So it actually doesn't make sense to do that anymore. These are just brackets. That's not 2, 3 or anything like that. I think that's right. Okay, cool. So let's go to the prelims. All right, Russian Legion versus Diesel. I don't know, man. Russian Legion, who knows how they're feeling. I think I've always said this. I think Russian Legion's the best chance to beat Russian Legion is early in a tournament, I personally. So I think, however, Russian Legion is going to beat Diesel 5-4. Looking at this layout, looks Heat is going far. I agree with you. Uprising versus Hurricanes. I think Hurricanes have a very good chance at winning this series, which is funny because every time Uprising plays a team, I'm always rooting for the other team. I'm always rooting for whoever's playing against Uprising. I don't have anything against Uprising. Those guys are just kind of stuck in their ways. I don't know. They got to do something. They got to take the game more serious or something. But I think Hurricanes, their best chance is that first game. And I think the coaching staff, specifically in Bianca, is going to win them this series and many other series. Okay? So I think the Hurricanes are actually going to win this series. I think they're going to win it probably 4-3, we'll say. Thunder versus Aftermath. If Aftermath didn't make any real roster changes besides dropping keys, I don't know if they picked up anybody else or lost anybody. And with Thunder being such a new squad together, I think Thunder's going to use this tournament as a learning experience. I think that's true for Hurricanes as well, but I think Thunder's going to win this series probably 5-3, we'll say. New York Extreme versus ML Kings. This is a game that we are going to want to watch together. Okay, this is going to be a fun game to watch. This is going to be crazy. So I think that New York Extreme is going to beat ML King 7-5. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. We'll see if that turns out to be true. Impact versus Diesel, losing Spica and Goldman. And I don't remember, did A-Rod come just recently from Impact? Because I know he went over to Ironmen. But I don't think he left Ironmen to go play with Saints. Did he go back to Impact? I can't remember. You think ML Kings is gonna win, Christian? This is the hot one. Okay, this is the one that goes back and forth. I think the only thing that's hard is that ML Kings and New York Extreme is always a very emotional match, and I think New York Extreme gets in ML Kings heads really quickly. We'll see. All right, Impact versus Diesel. Dude, I love Diesel, so I'm rooting for them. I think Diesel's gonna take it. But I think it's gonna be a low scoring point or low scoring game. I think Impact will win. I don't know. I think 3, maybe 4 points, and I think Diesel beats it out just barely, actually. He went to Saints from Impact. Okay, so they lost 3 of their star players. So I think Impact is going to be struggling. Russian Legion, I think, is going to 6-1 Uprising. Thunder versus Heat. I think Heat's going to win this one pretty handedly, but Heat starts slow and burns over time. They might start strong against these guys. We'll see. But I think Thunder only takes 2 points from them. Aftermath versus New York Extreme. 3-5. Okay. A-Rod left Ironmen mid-season to Impact and to Saints. Dude is a mercenary. Yeah, dude, that guy will go wherever the money is. But hey, more power to him. Aftermath. I don't know. What do you guys think about this one? Who do you think is going to win? Aftermath or New York Extreme? And while you guys think about that, I'm gonna decide. I think Impact has so much experience, regardless of losing however many players. But I think they're only gonna barely beat Hurricanes. I think they're gonna win 4-2. We'll see. What do you guys think? Aftermath versus New York Extreme. Who do you think's gonna win that? 6 Aftermath, Extreme 3. I could see that. Remind me, is Pro 7? Do you mercy rule at 7 points? Coin toss? I think that's probably true. I can see that. I'm going to agree with you on the 6-3. Anybody else wants to chime in, feel free to. All right. Columbus LVL versus Damage. Tough. I don't know. Yeah, it's a tough one. LVL's, I think, gonna destroy Damage. LVL is doing really, really well. We're doing so well towards the end of the season. 6-point mercy. Okay, I couldn't remember. Whoever gets less penalties. True. I think that I don't know if that game has the potential to blow up or not. I don't feel like Aftermath's that hot-headed, and I don't know if they're that susceptible to Hussein's and smack talk, but we'll see. All right, Heat versus ML Kings. I think Heat's gonna beat these guys pretty bad. I think ML Kings puts up 1 point. Got to root for LVL since they're my local team. LVL is gonna look. I think LVL is gonna do very, very well this season. I think they're gonna do very well. I'm actually super excited for them. Energy Elite versus Saints. This is a tough one. Energy Elite also looked really good towards the end of last season. Bad-mouthing Damage, I guess I'm going to unsubscribe. Wait, I'm bad-mouthing Damage? We haven't even gotten to Damage yet. What are you talking about? Tampa Bay Damage is... I love Tampa Bay Damage, man. We're not even there yet, though. All right. Energy Elite versus Latin Saints. I think the way Latin Saints beats this team is they play their star players, and that's all they play. And there's a lot of chemistry in at least 3 of them. And there's a lot of experience in the other 2. There's a lot of experience in all of them. But I think Energy Elite has a really good shot at winning this one. You'd say Saints. Dedication makes greatness. Oh, I didn't realize that. Is that what DMG stands for? That's actually insane. Uprising got the dub. Wait, Uprising got the dub against who? Hurricanes? Yeah, Saints don't have to do anything special to win. Probably not. But I'm gonna give it I'm gonna have it so they eke out that win, personally. Okay. Ironmen versus Infamous. This is why we got to go through this quick. So because there's a lot of games here. So Infamous versus Ironmen. Now, just to clarify, I don't think the point spreads are that important right now. I think it's mostly just about, obviously it matters in where they get placed in the bracket, so that could have a huge impact on their actual end result. But I think in terms of who takes top 3, it doesn't really change it that much. That's really where the predictions begin. These spreads are just kind of to get us, these spreads are really just to get us the actual rankings and stuff. So anyway, Ironman versus Infamous. Infamous, man. I think Infamous all the way. Even without Greg Sewers, I think Infamous all the way. Greg Sewers didn't get 700 subscribers or whatever, right? I think they win 5-2. Columbus LVL versus Damage. Whew. I think Damage wins that one. X Factor has the dub for sure. Wait, how far into this are you going, man? You're getting way ahead of me. If energy gets in their heads, I could see it getting out of hand. Infamous 6-1 Ironmen. 5-2, 6-1. Well, I'm gonna keep it at 5-2. I think Ironmen could eke out 2 wins. Damage all the way. I think Damage all the way, man. Damage is gonna do. Damage is Damage, dude. Those guys score. Those guys score high too. I'm also doing massive work from that snake corner and up the zipper snake. Yeah, I think he will. You're probably right that they'll do better, but for this game I'm gonna keep it 4-3. I'm gonna keep it at $150 with you. All right, Dynasty versus Revo. I like Revo. If Tonlo was in this chat right now, which I'm not sure he is, he would be very upset at me at saying this, but I think Dynasty's winning this game. I think Dynasty's winning and beating Revo probably 6-3, to be honest. I feel Saints are going to get stomped this event. Chemistry is everything now. The bottom 7 teams are getting close to the top teams in Impact last year, just won once. True, that's a good point. Even as you know, a lot of those players from Impact went over to Saints, they weren't even winning. So that's a good point. Yeah, I just don't see, like, if Latin Saints or if Brandon Short is going to keep to his word where that the best players are on the field, then we know who that's going to be, and the chemistry is everything. So that's why I think it's going to be a closer game than just Mouse and Spica like just dominating the Snake side, because I don't think that matters for this field as much. But we'll see. X Factor versus Energy Elite. Dude, X Factor is so good. But X Factor's another team that, like, I mean, especially recently, they've been not playing like super well early in the tournament and then just get hotter and hotter over the course of time. So I think X Factor wins. I think they beat Energy Elite, but I don't think by a whole lot. So we'll see. Infamous versus DMG. Dude, Infamous is gonna give it to him. Ironmen versus Damage. I think Damage just, I think Ironmen don't do super well against those guys, to be honest. No offense, Kaito, if you're watching, I love you, buddy. Dynasty 6, Revo 0, X Factor 6, Energy Elite 2, X Factor 6, Energy Elite 2. I can see that. I'll grant you that one. I don't know if I agree with the Dynasty Revo though. I don't know. 6-0? You don't think Revo puts up a point against Dynasty? Really? I'll give you 6-2. How's that? I'll give you 6-2, but I can't give you 6-0, man. 6-0 is... I don't think Revo gets 6-0'd. Dynasty is really good, but... All right, Dynasty versus Latin Saints. I think Dynasty beats up on these guys. I think... It's hard to say that they don't win points against Dynasty. I just think the Dynasty adjusts and wins. If it was the same Revo... That's right. Dynasty too hot. True. Revo tends to play Dynasty well, but they're also slow starters. Agreed. I completely agree with you. That's the thing, is like they usually, if they can secure themselves that wild card spot, then when they're playing on Tournament Sunday, those guys are going to do well. The problem is if they only are getting into the bracket because of the wild card, then they're playing against the hardest teams right off the bat. So X Factor is going to mercy Energy. Watching practices, it's going to be fast field. I think final score 9-3 X Factor. How can it, wait, can it be 9-3? That works, doesn't it? Wow. You think 9-3? X Factor versus Energy? I don't remember the last time I saw a game that went to 9 points. Yeah, but they lost a couple of their best attackers. True. Okay, so if that's the case, then with X Factor, I think we see a... Well, if I think X Factor can mercy roll Revo, then I definitely think Dynasty can. So, you know what? You've convinced me. But I think I'm going to grant these guys a point against X Factor. Man, Tonla would not be happy with me right now. All right, let's see if we can get through these ones real quick. MO Kings versus Aftermath. You know, I think this is going to be a tough one. I think I might drop my first tie here at 4-4. I think that's a 50-50, to be honest with you. I don't know, man. I don't know how they're looking. Jordan. Thunder versus Extreme. Thunder is such a funny team. They're a team that goes up. They're a team that if they go up, they have a really good chance of winning the point. If they go up like 3 points early and like it's like a 3-0, they have a chance to win that. But if it's like 2-0 even, and sometimes even 3-0, if the momentum shifts against them, those guys lose their cool real quick. Feels bad. In general, I think your scores are way too low. This field is playing so fast. Most matches are going to have at least 10 points played, in my opinion. No idea on Thunder now. No idea on Thunder now as well. And I will concede that to you. OMG, I'm not sure what you'd preferred to be called. I would concede that to you, but I think for the overall purposes of getting seeding, I don't know if the point spreads matter as much unless you think that a lot of teams are going to get mercy ruled, which is totally possible. Unless it's a faster mercy. Yeah, that unless people are just going to get mercy ruled, totally fair. And that's the thing. This is really just like, there are teams that I think even doing this exercise we're going to see are going to be in the same spots. Like Dynasty is probably going to be first or second seed, whether they mercy ruled every team they played or not. So, but I will grant you that you because of you watching it probably know a lot more. I ride hard for Revo, but that because I was on the original team back in the day. Oh, nice, Andy. That's awesome. I've heard pros say fast/slow. I do think. Yeah, I wonder how it'll be on Tournament Sunday. Extreme versus Thunder. I think that one's just kind of in the bag. All right, Hurricanes versus Russian Legion. To be honest, I think Hurricanes get 6. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I think Hurricanes get 1, maybe 2 points against Russian Legion, but I think Russian Legion is just gonna do work. Honestly, I could go high most of the time, or it could go high. Not I could. It could go high most of the time. Yeah, it's the thing. These could be insane high-scoring games, but if the difference, if the game went to like, let's say the game was like 6-4 or 8-6, like is there really a meaningful difference there? Because the point spread is still the same, right? So anyway, that's the thing. I'm not so concerned about the actual points scored. I'm mostly concerned about the spread, right? Because if I'm assuming everybody's playing the field similarly, then as long as I'm keeping the points within similar ranges, the spread is all that we really care about. All right, Uprising versus Diesel. I think Diesel's going to win this. I think Diesel stands a pretty good chance of winning quite a few points. Heat versus Extreme. Dude, I think Heat is going to 4-0. To be honest with you, I think Heat's going to 4-0. Do they mercy rule Extreme? You know what? I think they mercy rule Extreme. ML Kings versus Thunder. What do we think about this one? ML Kings versus Thunder. Thunder Bears versus ML Kings. Let's see. Canes put a point at least on RL. They adjust quick to teams. Dude, I'm telling you, Bianca is probably one of the smartest coaches I've ever met or have heard. I just think he's one of the smartest coaches ever. The problem is that Russian Legion has so much deep-rooted experience that what Bianca teaches his players, each of those players on Russian Legion already knows. So that's I think the only challenge is just the fact that their players are stepping onto the pro field for the first time, and playing against a world-class team like Russian Legion is going to be a real hard thing to adjust to. So I think they'll look at that series as like they want to prove their value, they want to prove their worth in the pro leagues, but I think they'll look at that as a learning experience. But wait, Diesel 6, Uprising 1? Wait, which series are you talking about? Oh, this one. 6-1 instead of 5-2. I think Uprising can win 2 points. You think Kings are going to take this game? Thunder, no idea again. Yeah, it's hard to say. ML Kings, they have a fast snake and middle attack, in my opinion. Okay, so it seems to be the general consensus is ML Kings is going to win this. I think ML Kings does win this, and I think Thunder takes 2 points. GJ, dude, like Thunder's squad, like original squad, is just got so much experience that they can make anything happen. Uprising versus Impact. I don't know, man. Brandon Cornell, I mean. Real good, dude. I don't know. 5, though, seems like a lot. Maybe 5. Maybe 5-2, we'll say. Hurricanes versus Diesel. I think this is a very winnable series for Hurricanes, I'll be honest with you. I guess ML Kings if they show up like World Cup, but maybe Thunder will show up hot. Who knows, man? It's so hard to say. What's up, brother? Take some Mucinex. I know. I don't know why I'm so stuffy. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It just started happening, I promise. Impact 5, Uprising 1. 5-1 instead of... Okay, I'll grant you that. I can agree. 1 second.
Hey, bing bang.
Oh, that was the wrong button.
I said, do you wanna fight me? Do you wanna catch his hands? Bitch, I'll catch you in the streets.
All right. Forgot I had that. I want Uprising to win just because of the fact it would mean Impact losing. Agreed, dude. Agreed. All right. Diesel versus Hurricanes. Diesel versus Hurricanes. I really like Diesel. I really like Hurricanes. I would love to see Hurricanes do really well. I think they can win this series. If they can win, I don't know if there's any way for them to draw out points very well. They set up traps really good. That's the thing that Hurricanes does really well. They set up really good traps. But the problem is that I think Hurricanes win if they can drag out each point. But if they play back-to-back points, it might be a little harder for them. So I would think naturally this is a pretty low-scoring game, but can we really go lower than them scoring 4 points against Diesel, maybe 3? I don't know. I think that's a very possible turnout. Canes 5, Diesel 2. Really, I think the adjustments on the Diesel's roster could shake things up. Okay, you playing tomorrow, brother? I'm not. No, I am in Utah. I am not going to Florida this time around for the Sunshine State. Too much going on in my life. But like 5-2 or something like that. Really, that's kind of crazy. It seems like most people are thinking 5-2. Diesel 5, Hurricanes 4. Cool to watch you on semi-pro broadcast. If so, yeah, no, I wish. I'm not. We would not. We demand if we had our original roster possibly, but no, we were not that good. Nice. Okay, I'm gonna say Hurricanes win 4 to Diesel 3. That's what I'm gonna say. All right, Houston Heat versus Aftermath. I think it's a pretty standard show, but I think Aftermath could definitely give him a little bit of a run. You know what? Actually, no. I'm gonna take that back. I think Heat's going out strong. Ironmen versus LVL, dude. Surprise! Here we go, LVL. You guys are just gonna do so well. I think Ironmen would do well to score 2 points against everybody they play this event. Russian Legion versus Impact. I think Russian Legion wins. And I think by 7-4 probably. That's gonna be a high scoring game. I need to. OMG, you're right. I should have put higher point scores scoring for some of these matches. Energy versus Revo. I think that goes in. I think that's a tie. I gotta do it so we can keep going here. How is Utah Paintball? Does SLC have a good scene? That's a sore subject, Sean. It has a growing scene now. Prior to 2008, we had a big scene like a lot of other states, but ever since 2008, we've had a hard time recovering. So right now we have the most common teams that I know of, at least in the Salt Lake area. We have Salt Lake Tension, who has done really well in the amateur NXL events or whatever you call them. They took second like 3 or 4 times in a row now. They're a really good team. A lot of my old teammates from that roster. Then there's Utah Bro Army, our squad. We have right now, I think, only a D4/5, and then whatever we are now, because the roster I'm on is like almost entirely dissolved because of like life issues and stuff. So we have Christian Martinez, who's back now, but we're just playing. We're playing for fun this year. We're playing the ICC. That's what it is. We're playing ICC this year. Super excited. Everything else is just at a at-will basis if we want to. But we have Christian back now. Sage Lee's taken still a little bit of a break. He just had a baby, back injuries, brand new house, all this stuff. I'm there playing pretty casually, trying to save for a home. Brandon is still there. Brandon Martinez. I don't think he's really taken a step back, so he's still there. We lost Nick. We lost Ethan. We lost Ethan to work. We lost Nick to personal things. And I'm sorry, I'm forgetting somebody that is really hurting someone's feelings right now. We lost Eli Santos to a pro team, I think in Mexico. I think we lost him to somebody in Mexico. And that was who we had. We were running off of like 6 people for a long time. And I think in the course between 2020 and 2021, we lost 12 players. So when is ICC? It's July, towards the end of July, I'm pretty sure. I'm honest, man, which is why I like you. Yeah, I feel you, Christian. Wait, I got to re-chat here real quick. Ironman takes it, but low score 3-2. You think so? Really? I don't know, man. LVL is really looking super good. Semi-pro is crazy this year. Crazier than pro. I agree. Semi-pro, I wish I was at the event just so I could watch semi-pro because it would be really fun. NRG should play a 5 Alive Open at Impact Action. No points. I've not heard of that. I don't. Yeah, if you got details, send it to me in Discord. So many teams could be on that pro spot. Well, I know Blast Camp and Mutiny. I don't think Mutiny would have done well. I don't think they were even really that. I don't think Mutiny would have, because they weren't even really that close to the running, right? I think Blast Camp was. I think if Blast Camp had definitely if Blast Camp had a stronger start to last year, they would be in that pro spot for sure. That their form, like they were looking really good. I think Blast Camp is going to take first in the series next year or this year. All right, let's keep going. Infamous versus LVL. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. And I think Infamous actually wins just barely by 2 points. Damage versus DMG. I think Damage absolutely does pretty well, but they also are a team that can concede quite a few points sometimes if they're not careful, but I think it's going to be 7-2. Dynasty versus Energy Elite. Dude. That's what I think is going to happen. X Factor versus Latin Saints. I think X Factor... Sorry, I'm trying to go through these really quick because we're coming up on... We got 40 minutes left. Latin Saints... I'm going to give these guys... I'm giving a lot of high scores now. I don't know what happened in me, but I think these guys win 2 points. I think X Factor wins 6-2, actually. Infamous... I'll look at the chat here in just a second and make adjustments as soon as I'm finished. Infamous versus Damage. Infamous versus Damage. That's a tough one. High-scoring game for sure. Damage, dude. Damage has such a hard time in high-pressure situations sometimes. Can Harrison Fry pick up the pedestal that Greg Sewers left? I think Damage wins this. I think Damage wins barely. I think Damage... I think it's a 50-50, to be honest with you. Okay, let me go back and read. I got to slow down. Oh, didn't know. I'm excited to see Latin Saints. Me too. Me too, Dustin. X Factor 6, Saints 3. X Factor 6, Saints 3. Okay, we're close enough. I think I'll leave it at that. I'm glad that we agree. Infamous 6, Damage 5. See, that's the thing. That's what I'm talking about. That's a coin toss. That's going to be a really good game to watch. I think Infamous because of the layout. Really interesting. I think Damage because of the layout, dude. But I will say the one thing that Keith Brown has a really hard time with, in my opinion, is Keith Brown has a hard time... Keith Brown is such an incredible snap shooter, but he has a really hard time pacing himself such that he doesn't burn out really quick. Like, I don't think he'd burn out before Sunday, but if they made it to Sunday and he played the same way he had been, he's playing like at 120 to sometimes like 125, 30%. And so by the time he hits Sunday, he's just a little sloppier than he was to start. Whereas there's a lot of other pro players, especially in the Snake 1 position, like Tyler Harmon is the first one that comes to mind, who is really, really good at pacing themselves, but still playing at the same consistent energy throughout the entire event. And Keith Brown is not good at that, in my opinion. Keith Brown is an excellent explosive Snake player, but he goes so fast that you can see it really takes a toll on him. Everyone should be excited to see Latin Saints just due to the money flung out to see if that even works first event. Yeah, that's what we'll be curious to see. Carolina Crisis is getting the pro spot over Blast Camp, and I want Blast Camp to go, but Carolina Crisis looks good. Really interesting. That's so fascinating to me because Carolina Crisis was a team that came up, in my opinion, towards the latter half of the year, like World Cup latter half. But Blast Camp started to heat up after the second event. Actually, really after the first event, but I could totally see that happening. Carolina Crisis is a great squad. Infamous shoots versus Damage speed. True. Infamous could, yeah, depending on how important, like if Infamous can shoot that snake shot and kill Keith Brown 50% of the time, that could easily cause Infamous to win this series. I would say so. Oh yeah. Yep. Carolina Crisis versus Blast Camp be nice. Yeah, makes them look inconsistent. That's true. Yes, Ninja. Excuse me, I need to drink some water. I just think Harrison Fry gonna hunt. Keith going to run into guns a couple too many times. I can see that. Damage always looks insane, so we'll see. Not putting cash on him at all. I don't think Damage is going to be able to pen Infamous in. Really? Keith Brown has no cardio for... That's what's so funny is Keith Brown is so fast. He's known as like a really fast player. At least he has the appearance of being fast. He's very explosive behind his bunker, but he almost has this appearance of inefficient. He looks very inefficient. Okay, let's keep going. Ironmen versus DMG. To be honest, I think this is like the game that Ironmen could win or DMG could win, but I'm rooting for my boys over at Ironmen, but I think it's going to be a low scoring game because I just feel like these guys, I don't know. I could easily see this game coming down to people being more worried about not making mistakes than actually pushing the issue or pressuring the issue and winning. Dynasty versus X Factor. Holy cow. All right. I'm going to do Latin Saints versus Revo first. I want you guys to tell me what you think Dynasty versus X Factor is going to be. I'm curious to know. Revo versus Latin Saints. This is a tough one. I think Revo beats Latin Saints, but I don't think by a lot. I think Revo concedes quite a few points. I think it could be 4-3 either way. Really? That low, huh? Yeah, the question is, the question is, do they trade points? Like, so we're talking high scoring game, or do they slow each other down? I'll do Latin Saints, but really close. Really? Okay. I guess if we don't do Latin Saints, then they... Where are they on here? Uh-oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where are Latin Saints not in my groups? They're not here. How did I mess that up? How many teams am I missing? I see now I'm missing Energy Elite. And I'm missing... How did I mess that up? All right, I'll have to pull this back up. Hold on. I messed up my groups. This music. We're gonna listen to... What can we listen to? I'm so new to streaming and YouTube that I'm not sure how... I mean, their systems are really good at catching copyrighted content. You know what? We're gonna listen to oh yeah, there we go. Sweet. Okay, let's go back. Oh, wrong thing. I don't know how I messed this up. I was like really trying to be very careful about this. Wait, scroll up. Oh. I was like, how did I mess this up? Okay, thank you so much. I'm glad I didn't go through all that just to realize. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. X Factor is going to get Dynasty, you think? Really? You think so? Dynasty 7, X Factor 5. Dynasty 7, 4 X Factor. No, I meant 4-3 versus the Ironmen DMG game. Either way. Oh, I see. Okay, scroll up. Appreciate your YouTube content, though. Thank you. Hey, thanks, Bobby. All right. Let's see. Okay. Dynasty versus X Factor. I think Dynasty wins. I think Dynasty beats X Factor 7-5. I agree with Jordan. All right. With that out of the way, then we have our top seeded teams. We have Houston Heat placing first seed, followed closely behind Dynasty. Oh, wow. And then Damage at 3. Damage at third seed. That's crazy. Okay, let's keep going. So then 4 is Russian Legion. I think Russian Legion is like always in the running for top 4 no matter what's going on in their life. 5 as 9 the next. 6. So we have 2 from this group. We need... Wow, we have a tie here. That's a loss, win, loss. This is the only thing I don't know how to resolve in the cases where there are actual ties within the group. I don't know if it's a coin toss or how they... Because I know that if there's ways to resolve the ties that are outside of what we're looking at here. X Factor needs to win as a comeback from back-to-back second place. I think Damage has a nice group for them. I agree. I'm gonna say that. What are we at? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're 7, 8. So I'm gonna say 7th seed goes to probably Impact for their scoring 4. I don't know. It's a bad system. This point spreads equal out, but just it could be either flipped. And who cares? 7, 8. And then I need a wild card 9 and 10. Oh, I have to take Aftermath 9, right? That's actually probably not right, but somebody who knows the wild cards system better than I do, because I'm pretty sure it's top 2 from every group, right? Or is it just top 8 overall and then 2 wild cards? Excited to see how Russian Legion looks. I agree. Ty, who has more points? Then did they play each other? Oh, true. Actually, did Impact and whatchamacallit did play each other, right? Impact versus Diesel. Impact versus Diesel, and Diesel won. So Diesel, I'm gonna give it to them. Okay. Hey, Derek, what's up, buddy? Welcome. So I have to give. Okay, so that means the Impact takes one of the wild card spots. Is that how that works? Can somebody help me here? So is Impact 9th seed? So let's say that Diesel takes 2nd in their group, right? Because Russian Legion takes 1st in their group. Diesel takes 2nd. Would that mean that Aftermath, because they technically take 2nd in their group, would be higher seeded than Impact? Is that how that would work? That these guys would be 8th and Impact would be 9th, even though their point spread is greater? Does anybody know? That's a tricky one. I don't actually know the answer to that. Oh my gosh, my nose. Top 2 from each group, and then the next 2 highest records overall. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I think we're still good. I think we're still good then, right? Yeah, okay. Cool. So then, who's our 10th? Our 10th would be Level? It looks like Level is our 10th seeded team. Top 2 from all is wild card. Okay. Top 2 from all. All right. So I think we're good, right? This looks good. Okay. So if that's the case, then let's take these 2. Heat is 1st seed. Aftermath is 8th. Is that possible? I think that's possible, right? Well, actually, I don't need to tidy this up right now. We'll do that after. Okay, so then we have 9th, 4th, 7th. 9th, 4th, 7th. I think that's correct. Here I am saying we don't need to tidy it up, and then my OCD is going to make me tidy it up. And then we have 6th, 3rd. Oops. 6th, 3rd. And then we have 10th in Columbus LVL. And then we have 2nd and 5th. 2nd, 5th. Okay. Here's the bracket. Here it is. Nope. Sorry, I'm just making sure I'm trying to like use this as a document that I can use for further stuff and just to look back on because it's kind of fun. Okay. Man, a lot of blue teams here. Okay. We have now made it to Tournament Sunday. Tournament Sunday. Aftermath versus Columbus LVL. This is where your vote absolutely matters. This is where your vote counts. Before it didn't. Just kidding. Tell me then, who do you think is going to win this series? Aftermath versus Columbus LVL. I will wait. I will wait. Don't you worry.
Finish him. Wow, my voice sounds so scraggly.
Aftermath 6, LVL 4, Jordan says. What do you guys think? Aftermath? We got 2 for Aftermath. Yeah, at this point, it's a win-loss, right? So it doesn't really matter what the point spread is. So just tell me who you think is going to win. Aftermath. Interesting, interesting. Anybody else? Anybody else? I'll give you 15 more seconds before I move on. And and move on as in I'll tell you what I think. After, but I can't imagine score. Okay, wow. We've got 3 people thinking Aftermath. LVL, Nicholas, the lone wolf. You're gonna have to make a real compelling argument here, Nicholas. You got a lot of Aftermath fan people. You know, I think LVL Zap coming in hot. Do we have anybody else for LVL to make it an even split? Anybody else? We need one more. Then don't lie. And Derek, if you're the one that types LVL, I know you're lying. LVL, huh? When did Aftermath make the last Sunday? Ah, that's a good question, actually. I don't remember. Third space comes in with the LVL. All right. Here's how we're going to resolve this. It's a coin toss. If Aftermath didn't put together an offensive in the offseason, LVL could off-season, but I think Hinman got some good guys for that. Okay. Let's do a coin toss. Heads is Aftermath, tails is LVL. How's that sound? Random coin toss. Oh, this isn't... I wanted the Google one. It's heads. It's been decided. It's been decided. Aftermath wins. Moves on to play Houston Heat. Aftermath made Sunday at World Cup against ML Kings. That's right. That's right. Okay. I promise it won't take that long for the rest of these. Give me what your predictions are for Diesel versus Impact. I don't have any idea what's going to happen with this game. Diesel always makes it to Sunday either through they feel like they always make to Sunday through wildcard, and they get the hardest team in the very first match. It's like it was like Houston Heat one time or something like that, or it's like why? What are you guys doing here? Wait, best of 3. Best of 3 coin toss. Nicholas is not happy about that. What makes you think? Okay, Christian Impact. You know what? I think it is a coin toss, and I think if you ran that out, I truly think if you ran the coin toss 10 times out of 10, it would be split 5-5. So at this point, who cares? Impact, you think over Diesel? Okay. Interesting. Diesel, Jordan says. So we got 2 people in favor of Impact, I think. I don't know. Not sure. I need some more water. Sorry, my voice is so scraggly. Should get the throat lozenge. I don't know why. Like all of a sudden, my nose started getting plugged. Impact. All right. We're going to say Impact. We're going to move Impact on. All right. Heat versus Aftermath. I don't think anybody thinks that Aftermath is going to beat Heat. I don't think anybody here does. We're going to skip... Actually, all the rest of these games are really solid. I think Heat's beating Aftermath. I don't really care what anybody else has to say about that. Just kidding. Impact. Okay, cool. Diesel makes Sunday, but they never perform to potential. I agree. That's the challenge with them. I totally agree with you, though. All right, tell me what you guys think. I want to know, just tell me what you guys think for these next 3. Give me your predictions for Damage versus X Factor, Russian Legion versus Infamous, and Dynasty versus Impact. Yeah, Heat's going to beat Aftermath. There's no way. There's no way they don't. I think Heat plays in the finals, to be honest. Dynasty whooping Impact. Ooh. I think so too, actually. That's not even that controversial. I think Dynasty does whoop Impact. X Factor beating Damage? Ooh, Christian might have something to say about that. Christian might have something to say. Wow, we're actually probably going to end right on time, which is perfect. So we got 20 more minutes. 20 more minutes and then we'll be done. Give me your predictions. Boom, boom, boom. Man, who played World of Warcraft growing up? Am I right? X Factor beating Damage. Wait, I read that already. Damage got them. Christian, diehard Damage fan. Heat isn't going to beat Aftermath because they are going to play LVL. Nicholas. Okay, well, so what you're telling me is that this is inconsequential. Whether or not Aftermath beats LVL and plays Heat, or LVL beats Aftermath and plays Heat, it doesn't matter because Heat's winning, right? I don't think LVL. I don't know, man. I think it's possible that LVL could beat Aftermath. I totally think it's possible. I think this is a coin flip as well. I think this is a coin toss. Or wait, not as well. That was the coin toss. Russian Lee, RL Infamous, not very confident, but Infamous is who I think will win. I could see it. Yeah, but we got it right. We got to get it right. You know what? I'll give you the upset because I appreciate the spunk. I appreciate the spunk attitude. All right. LVL goes on to play Houston Heat and loses. All right. Now we can move past that. Damage versus X Factor. This is a tough one. I feel like I don't remember the last time it was that Damage beat X Factor on Sunday, which is a pretty crappy thing to think about. So I feel like X Factor beats Damage. I am calling Damage will hopefully return to final form, to their true form. This is our March Madness paintball bracket. This absolutely is. Remember, guys, you can get, I linked it in the chat, though it's way down there now, but you can get the link to this and make a copy of your own if you want and make your own bracket predictions. You don't have to do, obviously, you don't have to do all this if you don't want to, but you can absolutely create a copy of this. If you don't know where the link is in the chat, you can join the Discord server, also linked in the chat at some point. If you need it again, I'll relink it. And this is linked in Paintball Chat, the Paintball Chat channel, so that way you can, and we're going to talk about, we're going to have Discord calls tomorrow. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to stream something. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to share something, and then you know, we can chat about it there and talk about the games. Let's see. X Factor 6 Damage 2 or 3. Really? Okay. We already know Dynasty and Heat finals. That's true. It doesn't really matter. Pastel, I'm all right. Damage, I tried. Damage likes to disappoint their fans the last couple of seasons. All right, let's move on. It seems like everybody kind of knows what's gonna happen. Russian Legion versus Infamous. I'm gonna give it to Infamous because I love Infamous and I would love to see them make the top 4 again. Heat versus X Factor. That's a tough one. Dynasty versus Infamous. I think Dynasty plays and beats them. Houston Heat versus X Factor, though. That's always a good game. Do you guys really think it's just a Heat versus Dynasty finals? FYI. Gabriel, I'm not sure what you mean. Welcome, by the way. Like my Philly Eagles. Wait, Jordan, why did you retract your message? Do you guys think Heat beats X Factor? How many people think Heat beats? Just tell me who you guys think beats who in this series, and then we'll get to the final. Then we'll get to the finale. I think Dynasty makes it to this top 2 for sure. If you had asked me the start of 2021, I wouldn't have told you that, though. Heat wins all. I think my boys at Heat do win. Oh, okay. Typo. No problem.
No problem.
Wait, what are some of these other ones? Oh. This is like when you walk into a cathedral and you didn't realize it was going to be so echoey. Oh, sorry. Who's going to win? Is it Heat or is it Dynasty? What about
This one? Oh, this is what it feels like to chew 5 gum. This is what it feels. This is what it feels.
Anyway. Okay. Who wins? Who wins? Dynasty beats Heat in a close one. You think so? Dynasty beating Heat in a close one. I think the last prediction we did, Dynasty won. And did they? They did win. Dynasty beats Heat in a close one. Jordan, given his prediction, we're losing. We're losing, people. We're almost done. Heat. Nicholas says Heat. Man, Nicholas, I can't tell if you're contrarian or you just or you just love opposites. Dynasty wins all forever. Really? Dude, Dynasty was not looking good for a while. Dynasty wasn't. What's funny is Dynasty wasn't looking good while they had Tyler Harmon, and then as soon as they dropped Tyler Harmon, somehow they started winning. Hard to say, Pastel says. Hard to say. Do we coin toss? Do we see what the gods have to say about it? All right, so heads is Heat, Dynasty is tails. Best 2 out of 3. Here we go. First game, Heat. Second game, Heat. Well, that was not how I wanted that to go. Dynasty picked up Archie, but Heat is stacked. Depends on playstyle and layout. Heat scored 22 second points for the win. Scores 22 second point for the win. Wow. You know what? I'm going to say Heat wins this. I think Konstantin Fedorov has more time with the team to practice. I assume he's back, right? More so than he was last year. I think Heat wins this. Well, there you have it. I think it could go either way. I'll be honest. And now I know that's true for all finals. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. Dynasty didn't need Archie to win. That's true. But now that they have the Archie, but I don't think just because Archie is an incredible player in his own right, he comes into this team and does really well. I think it takes time to mesh, especially with a group, with a camp like Dynasty. Dynasty, I think their ingredient to success is their chemistry. I mean, they're star players in their own right. But like, where do you even put Archie next to? Do you put like Dalton Vanderbilt and Archie together, and then Marcelo in the back, and then like Greenspan and who, like Arturo or not Arturo though? It could be him. Who's the other guy? Urena. Like, is that your starting 5? Dynasty didn't need Archie. I'm feeling Heat. I'm feeling Heat too. I want Heat to win this. I'm a big Heat fanboy. Well, there you have it. What a bracket. Okay, well, is anybody in here that's actually in Florida right now? Because if so, you guys are up way past your bedtime. You should be going to sleep right now, getting ready for the tournament. I think that's it. He does have a real good shot. I agree. I think he has a real solid shot. But I think that's it. So Tyler Harmon is way too fun to watch. He is. He's really fluid. He is super, super fluid. So I think he'll do very, very well. But that is it. I'm going to end the stream a little bit early because we finished the bracket predictions. Unless people have questions, things they want answered before I leave. But thank you guys so much for watching on my very first live stream on YouTube, which has been a lot of fun. Again, if you're not in the Discord server, which I think everybody here is now, please be sure to join. We will be streaming tomorrow. I'll try to be on for the first game, but it's pretty early. I like sleep, so I'm not sure that'll happen. But that's why my top 3 were Dynasty, Heat, X Factor. Look at that. Dynasty, Heat, X Factor. Yeah, I think that's... Oh, you know what we didn't do? We didn't do this game. We should do that. Oops. So, one sec. So we're thinking X Factor wins. I actually think I agree with that. You should have a random dark horse pick every time. That's a good question, or that's a good thought. Hey Christian, thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow on the Discord server. Again, link is in the chat. Thank you so much for your chats and comments. X Factor. I think X Factor does take third, fourth. I agree with you. Let's get rid of these and then add that. There we go. So X Factor takes third. Infamous takes fourth. I can see that. I should do that. You know who I think the dark horse will be that could easily swap out for either a team like Diesel or I mean really any of these guys right here. Hurricanes, dude. Hurricanes are my dark horse. Let's go. I think Hurricanes have a shot. I think they have a shot. I think they could beat Russian Legion. I think they could actually. They definitely, I think, can beat Diesel. They definitely can beat Impact. I think they could beat Impact. Let me not get too hyperbolic here. I think they could beat Russian Legion, and I think they definitely will beat Uprising. So I think they'll go 2-2 out of groups for sure, which, depending on the point spreads of those matches, absolutely determines whether or not they make it to Sunday. So let it be known that I think that these guys, I have them going 2-2 right now, but their point spread is pretty bad. So as long as they don't concede too many points to Russian Legion and maybe even keep it, to like a 1-point loss and win the other 2 games handedly, if they beat Uprising with like soaring colors, flying colors, and then they beat what was the other team? If they beat Diesel with like at least a +2 or whatever, and then only concede, maybe -2 to Russian Legion, -3 if they can hold out, and then Impact, I think they could beat Impact. I think they absolutely could beat Impact, but Brandon Cornell's really, really good, so it's hard. But if they could only concede 2 or 3 points here, then maybe they have a positive point spread and they make it. They make it in with like 1 or 2 points. We'll see. It's Mills. Roll Canes, baby. Roll Canes. Damage the dark horse piece. See you, Christian. LVL to win is win it all as the dark horse. Really? Okay, so let's do dark horse. We have, so I have Hurricanes. Somebody said damage. Damage is always a dark horse, but they're not even really a dark horse. They're in top 3. They're going into the bracket top 3. That's not a dark horse. I shouldn't even grant you that. I'm gonna not even grant you that. It's not a dark horse. Dark horse is Hurricanes, baby. That's who my dark horse is. Oh wait, I messed that up. Messed up the colors. Okay, there we go. That's the dark horse. That's a team that I think can actually swap out for any one of these. Any one of them. Probably 9th or 10th. Probably 10th. I think they could eke in at 10th for sure. Thunder is super unknown. I think Thunder is super unknown as well. I think the problem with them compared to Hurricanes is that Hurricanes has been the same squad for a long time. Thunder is merging 2 squads together. I think that's going to cause a lot of problems. It's going to cause a lot of disjointed play. I'm stoked to watch Hurricanes. Me too. Really hoping they come out strong so we can hear less about how bad all semi-pro teams are compared to pro teams. Agreed, Jordan. I would like to hear that as well. Thank you for streaming for 2 hours for us. Appreciate the layout coverage. Absolutely, Pastel. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, Hurricanes is a good one. It's going to be wet in Florida tomorrow, according to the weather. Who's best in wet conditions? You know who's best in wet conditions? Hold on. Oh, I don't have a camera zoom. Dang it. I need to get that. You know who's best? Hurricanes. Hurricanes love playing in wet weather. All right. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Have a good one. I will see you all tomorrow on the Discord server. Peace.